Hey everyone, it's Darren Benton again with Performance Motor Coaches. Want to do a video, a very cool video, very unique video of a very unique piece. So this coach came to us. This is a global GXV. This is a Patagonia. It's different than you would. I don't think this is one of one as far as the floor plan goes. And I can tell you that the newer production models have things that are very different in my opinion. So we figured the best time to do a video is whenever we sold it for some reason. That was obviously my fault, but it's been so crazy busy going back and forth Indiana here. This customer contacted us a while back and just said, hey, look, I bought it, went on one trip. No, don't really have a need or want for it anymore. We've decided to go a different route, and would you sell this for us? Sure, no problem. So got it picked up. I picked it up myself at GXV up in Springfield, Missouri. Cool to go video their facility. Really appreciate those guys' input and time there whenever I did pick the unit up. I drove it down to Texas personally. Was in Dallas for a few days and then came on. I tell you what, I can't think of a vehicle that you would get more stares. I don't care if it's a Ferrari, Lamborghini. This thing gets all the looks from everybody you pass up and down the road. So very unique vehicle. I learned a lot about it. I learned a lot about going to the factory. I knew a lot of the systems prior to, just because I've had all kinds of off-the-wall vehicles, but learned more about the chassis itself. So I assumed that the chassis was built from Kenworth or PACCAR with the four-wheel drive already included. That's not correct. There's a company called Tulsa Truck that does some pretty unique four-wheel drive conversions. I would imagine they probably spun off from all-wheel drive, which is another company. So a lot of the bucket trucks that are out there, the big 6x6 trucks that are out there, most manufacturers do not offer it from the factory. So the one that I knew prior to was that all-wheel drive there in Tulsa, and I'm certain that these guys kind of spun off. I think they do more like customized builds. So the four-wheel drive is actually added to the unit. You'd have to go to my website to look all the specifics as far as the ratio and such, but I can tell you that these things will climb almost anything. They're definitely not made to hit the road. They do have limitations as far as power. Basically because of the size of this thing, and I've built some of the four-wheel drive show haulers. I've had numerous earth roamers of the past, and none of them are designed for 85 miles an hour. That's not what they're designed to do. Can you do it? Maybe downhill, but they're definitely not designed for a lot of pavement pounding. They're designed to be off-road, to go a lot more places than you could ever think of in an RV itself. Because of the cab, obviously, you save a lot of room. This is basically a cab over setup. Nice winch and bumper setup here. Of course, you do all your full service right here. It does have a full hydronic system in it. We'll kind of get into more of the pieces, parts inside, but basically like daylight up front. If you need to get somebody out of your way, you can darn sure get them out of the way by kicking all the candles on. So 425 tire, I think these are rated 11,000 pounds a piece. It does have the nice King shock. So as far as your overall suspension goes, it's pretty darn impressive. I mean, you can run over some incredibly rough terrain and it doesn't beat you to death. Most of the chassis, like the big international chassis and the M2 chassis, I mean, you're driving a truck. And this thing right here, you can go over curbs. It's a phenomenal ride. I vision that. Obviously, GXV's been doing these things for 20 plus years, and they just have spent more and more time being able to engineer the suspension to be able to get the best quality ride out there. So it will basically go anywhere you want to go. Still does have their cab extension on there. We've not raised this up, but this little gizmo right here is designed to tilt the cab. I can tell you that, like in comparison to like the old school like Stewart and Stevenson cabs, this is a much quieter cab. I think it's much more robust. It has a lot of the features that you would expect on a newer model vehicle as well. I couldn't imagine going to those older 7.2 liter Caterpillars and being able to have that old type unit with a newer setup. So to me, it just kind of makes sense to have, all new, basically your chassis and conversion itself. So it does have chassis batteries right here, little 6K generator on board here. There's a ton of solar on board. There's a ton of batteries. Trying to remember the amp hours on those batteries. I'm probably going to have to put it in my comments just because it was about a month ago that I wrote the description on this, but it does have a 3,000 watt inverter over there. It does have your ISO temp. Basically, that's a hydronic system that's your water heater as well. And there's a few features inside that are pretty cool. You see the little monoblock on the back wall as far as all your water goes. And then you see little lights up here. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into this bay right here. You do have a bay heater right there. That bay heater can be removed, and if you were camping, had a small little tent, you actually pull that off the wall. So a lot of thought has been put into this setup right here. This does move forward and backward. We did add a little, basically like a battery isolator. We noticed it wasn't doing a good job of maintaining the chassis batteries when it was plugged in, so we put a little isolator in there to be able to kind of assist that. We noticed a little bit of just natural parasitic power draw on the chassis itself. So nice setup right here. There's a little induction. Well, I guess it's not induction. I think it's just electric cooktop right there. Put your burgers on. I think you'll be the first person to cook a burger on there. 23 model chassis and unit is basically what this setup has. They did not title these things as GXV. Since Storyteller has bought them, they are now titled as such. So this would be considered more of a conversion, a little bit more difficult to get a loan on, a little bit more entailed to get insurance on as well. So kind of keep that in mind. So this setup right here is the hydraulic piece that goes for your motorcycles on the back. Pretty cool setup. You do have some switches. Where are switches? Right in here. See that big spare tire right there to be able to lift that big spare tire up and down. So definitely cool setup there. You can still flat tow with it. With that all the way up, you still have to have some type of extension, but of course this piece can be modified to be able to bring it in a little bit. So you got some limitations in regards to flat towing and this motorcycle setup right here. Customer did add these little gizmos right here that I forgot about. Kind of a cool setup. I mean, if you don't have an outdoor stereo, it's not a party. Not a party. So speaker over there. It's like a marine grade type setup. Nice little sound to it. We were trying to go through it. This thing has cameras for its cameras. If you don't see the cameras, get in the other camera, see in the other camera. So we got side cameras. Well, I think we got 3 on the front, 3 on the rear. So going through that. So the independent monitor up front and then one in the bedroom, and trying to go through that and get a better idea of all the cameras. So right here we had one,
we got them all working.
One, 2, 3. So everything's good to go with the cameras. Kind of work in progress to be able to figure out some of the systems, and we'll kind of go through that once we get inside. Waste tank right there. I think it's only like 40 gallon, like 30, 40 gallon gray water tank. Electric valve right there. Of course, you can put that right on the ground. Do have a hydronic register back in there to be able to keep this thing warm. Isn't that cool? The light up there.
The lights spin around. I'm too short.
It's like if you have a show going on right here, you got the light inside or outside. If we could just put that on a strobe, it'd be really cool. So a little storage right here. Now I can't see anything. So really, really bright. So this rig was set up for Starlink. If we haven't put the antenna on, then we're going to put it on, and then that's a Starlink port right there. So if you had a small little jobby that went on a picnic table or over on the side, so that's kind of how that's set up. But very cool setup right here. So basically your coolant while you're driving down the road will keep this system warm. You do have the burner underneath. The electric is not even hooked up. You see that cord just kind of hanging out there. So it does have a diesel heater for the bedroom, but then that hydronic heat, and then I think there's what is it? There's a like a towel heater in there. So there's lots of redundancy for the heating system on it. So if one system went out, you basically could be somewhat reliant on the other. So nice little water filter set up as well. And then basically this is all stuff you'd see in like really high-end, like bus, not even motorhome per se, but really high-end bus or high-end yachts. Nice setup right here. Be able to close these things. Slam it and then latch it. But magnetic setup right here. You can see that. I don't have to worry about that thing popping open. So lots of engineering in this stuff. I mean, I'm pretty certain that's.
I've seen bank vaults not that tight.
I'm pretty certain this is from Germany right there. DE, is that Germany? No, maybe it's Denmark. Denmark. But anyway, definitely cool, robust setup. Has the cartridge style toilet. Of course, you can do dual cartridges. Most of these setups will have a cartridge type toilet as opposed to a black water tank. So that's really about your only limitation there. Air chucks on both sides. More storage. Got some traction pieces right here. Relatively small def tank. I believe these, I looked inside here, I couldn't see exactly. I'm getting old age, but it's like 387 liters, which, I don't know, that's pretty close to 100 gallons. So a ton of fuel capacity on board here. I can't imagine any other vehicle of this size having that much fuel capacity on board.
204 gallons is what I found out.
Okay. For whatever reason, I thought I saw 387 and liters to quarts is relatively close. So really nice air ride seats there. The cab extension is definitely handy. My little dog rode right next to me the whole way. This is one of his favorite vehicles. You sit right there and check everything out, sleep, get up, see out the windshield. So got this little flip up step right here. So not bad getting in and out of the cab itself. They are heated, they are not cooled. But nice setup right here. So we do have this monitor here. We got a backup monitor and GPS right there. We kind of cleaned all that up, make it look a little bit better. This is part of the video system right here. There's another one in the back. But nice layout, cruise control, everything is relatively easy to get to. Air suspension, power locks. Got the big lights up front. Where was it? I guess I'm dumb.
Push them down, I think.
Yeah, we don't have any. We don't have the
key.
Yeah, we have the chassis disconnect on and off, but we have remote entry right there. Definitely a nice setup with the Focal speakers and some additional amps. So nice big entry back into the back as well. But definitely a fun piece to drive. Just don't plan on driving 75. Did a full service on the chassis. I don't know if we did anything to the burner or not. We serviced the engine as well. You know, really and truly, the pictures don't really do it justice in comparison to how big these are. I'm right about 6 foot tall, so I mean it's a monster. It gets a lot of attention. So let's run inside. Front and rear winches. I mean, the more you walk around this stuff, the more stuff you realize it has. Very stout entry door as well. A little storage right there. A lot of built-in pieces, parts. So this table right here will come down, basically serve as a bed, and then, where is it? You can bring it up here.
There's a lever on the button on the bottom. You hit your button.
It'll shoot up.
It's like a barber's chair.
And then I think this will go right here. And move it. Dinner time, let's eat. So cool little setup right here. Whether you're using it for sleeping or any kind of work environment. You can see all glass, no vinyl windows. But pretty cool up top here. So press that, that'll keep that into place, and then you can use your sunscreen. I believe these are all either Danish or German pieces right here, but I mean, very expensive components compared to what you would find in the RV industry here in the US. Induction cooktop right there. They did a good job of trying to put USBs anywhere you might need to be hanging out. Do have storage on both sides. So this is the diesel air heater over on this side. Let me see if I can't get it open. I think we're going to hit right there, but you can get a rough idea. So diesel air heater in there.
And a safe.
Well, we gave out the secret. Gave out the secret. Now everyone knows where the safe is.
Where the money's at.
But very cool Armor Vision windows. Got little Sonos.
I like the carbon fiber keepers on them.
Wow, didn't even notice that.
Carbon fiber, dude. Saving weight.
We're always thinking. But nice hardware here to prop those up. I mean, everything is extremely high end on these. From your components, hardware. Quartz countertops. So nice size sink setup. But a ton of room. You've got a drawer refrigerator on the left here, and then you have one over on the right. I believe the one on the right will serve as a freezer as well. I think it's a dual zone versus a just single zone over here. I think you can program that down. A little washer dryer, combo washer dryer there. If there again, if you notice the newer ones, you'll see more of like an RV type microwave. So that's some of the differences between the newer ones and the older ones. What is this?
So this is a hook. So when you flip this all the way up to 90 degrees, you can't reach that handle if you're short like me. So that's your little tool.
Shorty short.
Yeah.
Or a
back scratcher.
back scratcher. That's a really, really nice back scratcher.
Shoehorn so you can get your penny loafers on.
So check out back here. They did there's a 110 back in that compartment right there on the left. See that? If you want to like hide your coffee maker, or maybe you have like a Dyson or something like that to be able to plug in. So definitely did a lot of thinking as far as putting parts here and there. Look at the size of that drawer. You put a baby in that drawer. All dovetail. Look at this. Look at the inside of that. You see that? Look at that.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
That's impressive. Everyone's going to be throwing up now that we turned them upside down.
I wonder what kind of tree can make that logo.
It's
Think it grew that way?
poplar. So lots of storage in this little guy right here. Of course, just wanted to kind of open this so everybody could see. I don't know. I mean, you can put everything in here. So that's the
Pretty cool silverware.
that's the pieces part for this, isn't it? I'm almost positive.
Yeah,
I could have sworn it was in there.
I'm not sure.
Michael help us out. He'll make a comment, let us know exactly what was in there. But I thought it was a portion of that, but it doesn't. That's not what I'm picking. I'm not picking that up. Actually, it's missing. That's what it was. That's this place for it. We'll make sure that does get put back into place. But Mike added this setup right here, and then he added some of these right here. So you don't have to worry about your fine china breaking while you're driving up and down the road on some pretty rough roads.
And that fits really well. You're not going to get it out of there.
Have a cocktail at the end of the night and your really nice stemware. So we're going to add, just to make so you don't have mystery, we're going to add little custom cut light switches there to kind of as a reminder. It's basically there and there, so it kind of caught us in the middle of going through the unit. Come back here to the mid bath. So there again, what's unique about this is one of the few units that has a dry bath So this is your shower right here. You have another skylight over the top. There's a lot of room in here. You want to come in here with me?
Yeah, come on.
So look at it. We got all the room in the world. Things get a little steamy. Not a problem. Open this up. I don't think there's any RVs that have this much room in. See? I mean, are you comfortable? I'm comfortable.
I mean, I'm glad we're not showering, but we can both fit in here.
All the room. Make sure we lock this so the garage door doesn't take it out on the way out.
You gotta show them the towel warmer.
So right here, towel warmer. Of course, if you just want a nice shower without having to put your towel on there, but that's basically kind of how that's set up right there. I think that's the best thing ever.
I like the lighting in here too.
Yeah, they
All
just
the lighting around the edges.
done a good job at kind of making everything tie in together that doesn't look like an afterthought.
That's where you keep your Purell.
All the Purell, Gourmet Fruities. Little storage right here.
Pretty good size storage.
You can put all your linens in there. Let's flip flop around. Ooh. That lip is a little high. It's a little high, guys. But my storage right here. Adjustable shelves. Got a max air up top there. It's a little tight right here, guys. A little tight, but you can turn this. Pretty certain. Yeah. There we go. There you go.
Oh,
Got a little bit more room. So if you need to take a little nap, a little siesta, you can get it turned. Get it over here. You can go all the way over.
I didn't realize that turned at all. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. All the room now.
Yeah.
All the room. More storage right here. And then you do have another window up top. And then this will be interesting.
I don't know if you crawl in there or if I crawl in there.
Let me get that so I don't knock my toe. So, come back in here. We have 110s on each side of the bed, which is handy. They are, everything's run off the inverter other than the mini splits on the back. So nice closet on each side. The mini split is basically set up right here.
That mini split will freeze you out. We ran it the other day.
So nice setup right here. This is a brand new mattress. The customer acted like he was going to bring his own mattress. If a customer wanted to get a little bit larger mattress, you could. It's going to be a giant pain in the ass to make this bed if it gets any bigger. So
you can sit up in this one.
Yeah, you can sit up in bed. Most of the Earth Roamer setups are not big enough to be able to sit up in bed, and that's a big thing. Be able to put my robe on and off in bed.
We have back here in this bed.
As long as I got a squishy mattress like this. So, little reading lights on each side of the bed. Got more room. Separate these.
Those magnets work well too. They stick.
Yep. You can probably put your pew-pews in there. Pew-pews?
Yep. A couple of them.
So, one thing that we talked about, this operating system right here. This is your master control. You have independent light switches, but it'd be nice to be able to have this. Did we ever get a response back from these guys on doing a separate monitor up front?
Yes, and for doing one, it probably didn't make sense. We can do it. We got to get some programming by the screen. There's a couple programs we have to download to be able to do it on a computer, but it is doable. They responded pretty quick.
Can you do any kind of Bluetooth setup on that at all? Nope. I guess that's the reason why they just decided to put the master control in the master bedroom.
So the guy buying it, he said he's pretty good friends with the guy at C-Zone. He's going to be able to get it download, like buy an iPad, send him an iPad. They'll put everything on the iPad.
It'll operate through there.
Work.
Perfect. Cool.
So that's the way it'll roll.
Sweet. So anyway, that's the additional camera system right there. I believe that that's totally independent of that front camera system, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So pretty cool setup. There was a feed for the Starlink right back there. I think that's probably just a feed that goes just straight outside. I don't know where this feed goes. Does that feed on the roof come inside here?
I didn't see a wire up there.
Okay, maybe they just didn't mount and they'd be able to.
I think they ran it maybe through here.
Okay, that'd be kind of
I didn't see a wire.
just slam it through the door there.
Just go through the window.
So that's kind of strange how they have that, but we can always change it once the customer gets here. So Do you remember some of the operating systems on this? Obviously, you can turn your inverter on and off.
You can turn inverter on and off. You've got 3 different zone pumps. We've got a pump that circulates, my hot coolant for the towel warmer. I've got one that works as more of like a insta hot, you kind of like a circulation pump. So you got hydronic heating, and if you just don't want to wait the 10 seconds for the hot water to get there, you can turn a circulation pump on and have it circulating hot water. So that works really well. And you also have a circulating pump for the engine.
There you go. There's our lights, stuff like that.
So you can control everything here. Of course, there's a touchpad. There's buttons throughout the coach. There's a touchpad by the entry door. You can do master on, master off. Your mini split is controlled via this thermostat on the wall. The front AC is controlled on the roof. It has a thermostat built in, and those are Bluetooth enabled.
Yeah, I think you just do that through the Coleman app.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do like the C-Zone system. It's a little bit more advanced than the Firefly than we're used to, so it took me some learning to get to it. But I took some readings, just kind of educated myself on it the other day, and I feel like I know enough to be dangerous now. Yeah, you can view a lot on this, so.
Yeah, there's a ton of information there. It's just enough information to get you screwed up. I like how everything is almost in English. But cool setup. Only 57 hours, so really, really low use on this. I mean, essentially, this guy went out for one trip, sent it back, and then kind of moved on from there. No issues with the coach. I mean, I drove it. I've operated all the systems myself. We've operated numerous times here at the dealership as well. And of course, when this customer comes in, he'll stay with us a night or two just to get really familiar with it, because there's definitely a lot more involved in this than most RVs that are out there.
I do like the doors in this coach. They're very for an interior door. They're very solid, good seal all the way around. I mean, there's a good enough seal. You could make that an exterior door. It's sealed up enough. Of course, the mirror.
Well, and having the isolation, all the rest of the floor plans that are out there, basically it's you don't have really any separation. You have a wet bath, so to me that's the advantage of this floor plan right here, to be able to have have your separate shower, be able to have a separate master. So essentially, two couples could use this coach and not feel like they're on top of each other, which to me is a big deal.
Yeah, this area would make a big. I mean, this folds to full bed. Two full-size adults can sleep there, no problem.
And even while you're driving down the road, I kept these open whenever I was driving. I dropped this down and just put a blanket over the top. But nice, you could still be able to maintain conversation through this portal right here while you're driving up and down the road. But for a shorter unit, there's a lot of stuff that's packed. There's lots of redundancy. There's lots of very cool, unique systems as well. This little piece right here, I mean, like I said, just the more time you spend with it, the more stuff you see. This piece right here is designed to go cover your stepwell right here. I've definitely thought about almost everything you could possibly think of. Like I said, you do have some independent light controls outside of that master controller there. So hopefully this will go to its new owner in about a week or so. If something changes, we'll make sure we update the video online. But very cool truck. I wish it wasn't blowing 12,000 miles an hour outside, to be able to take this over and be able to kind of show you what it can do, because it's really, really cool as far as some of the characteristics of it.
Maybe next week we'll get an old junk car and we'll just crawl over the top of it. Books for days. If you like to read, we have a job for you.
But they do a good job as far as they actually go through and make individualized setup versus one size fits all. And of course, with us knowing the unit, us going through the unit, anybody that was to buy from us after the fact, we got a pretty good grasp of the systems that are on there. That's one thing that Brett's required to do. He's required to memorize everything forever, and then we have periodic tests to make sure he remembers everything.
Hit a random page in there. I'll spit it up.
What's the capacity of the Frigo refrigerators?
Oh, I could fit at least 4 30-packs in there.
At least all day long. So the cool part about this, the really, really cool part about this is, if you think this vehicle's cool, which I don't know, it's going to be close. So the vehicle that's coming in on trade on this is a one of the big earth roamers, one of the Chevrolet earth roamers. That so even though it's not that big F750 unit, I'm a bigger fan of that Chevrolet powered unit. So we will darn sure get a video of that. That's going to be a 7-figure RV, so we're pretty excited to get that in here. We'll get it all cleaned up. Hopefully, maybe we'll sell it before we do the video. But I'll try to dedicate some time to do a video of that. We'll try to do a really extensive video, as far as a operational video, a instructional video, and a drive along video. But just wanted to do this because it's a really cool unit. Lots of unique features about it, and really and truly, at the risk of upsetting people, things that won't be offered again. So that's kind of the paramount of this particular truck right here. Is a lot of the things that you've seen in this will never be offered again. So that's, I think, the uniqueness of it, and that's the reason why this customer was interested, because it won't be offered again as far as the floor plan, as far as a lot of the systems. They've gotten away from some of the isotherm and Webasto heaters. They're just using aqua hot, which we see that very common in the RV industry. So a lot of systems, those more robust systems, are going away. Well, I've just about had it. I've been a little stickly for a while, trying to power through these videos. I appreciate Brett always helping me out on these videos. We'll get some more done in the next week or so as we get more units in. It's been crazy busy. It never seems to slow down, which is a good thing. Always appreciate you guys watching these videos. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.